Yo ho ho! This is Grim Reaper bringing you One Punch Man, chapter 158 review. Remember to like the video, subscribe. We're almost at that 2K. Let's get there. So without further ado, let's begin. 158 was a pretty good chapter, and it brought a lot of different long-awaited events to the forefront. But now moving past it, there was some controversy in regards to the community split down the half, especially in regards to their viewpoints or their perspectives on the scaling. Disregarding all those wrong assumptions or wrong interpretations, we now have the reality of the situation. We always knew that Metal Bat's fighting spirit was powerful. We always knew that it was an ability that could be more hacks than the story was letting on to be. And we now see the exact instance of it. Not only was it mentioned by Bonata that back in the Garou fight, that if Metal Bat would have landed that last hit that Zenko stopped, he would have killed Garou. But also, it was pretty clear that Metal Bat can take on dragons. Now, we all know what the whole hoopla and the reality of the situation is in regards to disaster levels. That somebody as weak as Bakuza and somebody as strong as Boros are both within the disaster level of dragon. It doesn't necessarily mean or indicate how strong you are, but it gives some type of grasp to it. Now we have the confirmation of that statement. Metal Bat, yes, can indeed take on dragons. And not just any, low dragon or any downplay of the opinion or any downplay of the facts that are here, that have always been presented. But we're talking above dragons. That's the moniker that we gave it, above dragons. And there's no ifs, ands, or buts that Sage is an above dragon. The same or in comparison, maybe a little bit less than, he lasted longer than, even Natural Ocean. So, now here, what are we talking about? I'm not here to push some Metal Bat hype train. That's not what I'm here for. We just experienced one of the craziest hype trains with the flashy suck. So let's stay within the bounds of credibility here, right? We saw, at least in this chapter, Metal Bat take a grand march from Sage Centipede. That's equivalent to getting hit by a Senti tidal wave from EC, but full force and much stronger and much larger. We saw him take multiple of those fists that are on each of his sides, just getting smacked constantly. We saw him tank that. We also saw him tank a grand drill. Did that look like it was fun? Did that look like it just bruised by him or nothing? No, like these are two attacks that the Metal Bat showed out on. So we're not talking about Tank Top Master now punching and hitting Metal Bat and being able to knock him out. We're talking about hey, this is tremendous force here. This is we're not talking about some average little power level here. This is what Metal Bat's taking on defensively. That's how much force is required in order to really knock out Metal Bat. Now, what does this instance really say, right? I think that this instance also officially caps and truly gives us a definition or a range of what fighting spirit can do based on your current power level. Are we to say that you don't drop back down? It seems confirmed now that you do drop back down. Was it all the way? The Metal Bat that we saw come out of the hospital and fight on the surface, was he as weak as the Metal Bat that was protecting Waganma? I don't know. What he fought 4,000, 10,000 sperms, something like that, in 4 different bodies. It's hard to quantify certain points in especially in regards to when black sperm comes into the equation. But I don't think it's fair to say that guys like Darkshine, I don't think Darkshine can just beat Metal Bat now. I think that's it was tough for us to say it's always been the case, and most of us would almost say that no, it isn't the case because of the performance that we saw before. But it's now come into reality or to the forefront of the story that the concept of fighting at your enemy's level is a reality here. It's not just a, how do I put this? So in sports, competition makes you play hard. You know, if you're a good athlete and you're competing up against another great athlete, you might feed off each other's energy. And it's not always in a contrasting situation to where they're on the opposing team. There can be instances where your teammates are playing so well that you also feed off of their energy. You feed off their essence. You feed off of their skill, their performance, how well they're doing. And it makes you feel as if you have to do the same, or you have to step up your game as well. You take more chances. You remember your duties. You stick with your fundamentals more often. You get into the zone. I don't want to skip all the way ahead, but if Metal Bat is strong enough to push, to motivate, to the point of evolution, a Garou that had already fought Platinum, I think that's the best indication of Garou's power level. Excuse me, Metal Bat's power level. We don't even have to mention the fact that he managed to crack Sage Centipede's shell finally, which nobody is gonna do. Remember, Elder Centipede's shell cracked in response to the Sky Aura ripping fist from Bang and Bomb because he was already molting. That's from what Orochi said. It wasn't because they were strong enough to actually do that. Metal Bat was a much stronger individual, somebody who has much stronger defenses. I don't know what else you want me to tell you. Like, offensively, Metal Bat is top notch. I don't think a conversation including Darkshine is fair anymore. Metal Bat can clearly produce more power than Darkshine can. No, let me just leave it at that because there's more stuff that we can talk about before we end the video. So we're gonna shout out to Gearspur and One Shotter for their putting in work. Gearspur has continuously shown that he's stronger than his rank. I had to look at his rank because I forgot it for this video, but he's a C-class rank 133. Just beforehand, from his performance against Neon, I probably would have gave him like A-class top 50 just off that, man. Just off that. And that's probably not even fair because taking into account Saitama's performances or what he's displayed in public and the great boosts that he's gotten, he should probably get something comparable or a little bit lesser than that. Saitama technically has the records, or should have the records, or the maximum increment of growth in regards to rank adjustments out of any hero. I mean, we haven't heard about anything like that. We've heard about heroes like, coming in and becoming S-class automatically, or being able to defeat demons whenever we were first getting introduced to the S-class, but like, we haven't really heard about like the greatest jumpers or individuals with the greatest increases in ranks. Saitama should have it. Should Gearspur be next? Yeah, Neon's put on a crazy performance, but he's already number 2. The only thing next he can do is go to S-class. And you're not going to be jumping crazily like that because that's when a bunch of different factors really come into play. Popularity and all this stuff in Hero will come into play as well, especially because some of the lower class heroes have like quotas and other requirements that they need in order to, hey, relax, bro. That they need in order to like maintain their membership in the Hero Association, but like, man, all right, so let's move on now because One Shot was putting in work too, but Gearspur was the one that took over that show. Like, maybe it's a little bit like drastic, or you could say it's the feat that he gets, the fact that One Shotter was able to like distract, quote unquote, State Centipede by hitting him in the face. But I mean, it is what it is. It's not like I'm expecting those bullets to pierce through Darkshine, but this makes you consider his bullets a little bit more. I'm just saying it requires that of one shotter. So maybe he should go up too, but he's already ranked 22 in the A class. So it seems that this chapter was also not only just about Metal Bat and Garou solidifying previous plot points or strength points, but after reinforcing the scaling. Sage as well seems to have gotten a little bit more concrete decoration as to his power levels as well. The best feat that I have that I noted was the Sky Order Ripping Fist. This is from a stronger Garou who's now able to do the technique on his own without having to have two individuals there and bang and bomb. And he tanked it just the same, regenerated right out of it. So it failed twice. The Sky Order Ripping Fist cannot get through centipedes. But in this instance, a much stronger instance, it also failed, and he managed to take it. So we do want to give some kind of recognition and credit to Murata for giving that comparison with one similarity between Centipede and Sage. The fact that they have a Sky or Ripping Fist. There are other similarities or other comparisons we can make as well, but that's a major one. The fact that a stronger version of Garou managed to do it, and it still wasn't enough. Along with Metal Bat down there, also hitting him with a Savage Tornado. So Sage's stock is also going to go up. I think everybody's stock that showed up this chapter is going to go up. Now, you may not have that many position changes. Only in regards for Metal Bat, it's probably going to jump up a lot. Garou got an evolution as well. And I guess we can quantify it as now being able to pierce through Sage Centipede. But what does that really mean, right? Because we don't know what the threshold was of being able to pierce through Sage in the first place. But everybody still is going to go up. Maybe Sage not as much out of anybody. Aside from Garou piercing through Sage's shell, which is impressive, and taking out this core, the connection was made with Orochi. Now there was some confusion here since Sage showed up because of the shadow silhouette that we got in regards to Orochi being underground. Now the silhouette does look like Sage, but it does somewhat resemble or remind you of Orochi's scorpion type thing. So the question was, where's Orochi? Now we see an individual who has the heart of Orochi, the same core that Orochi had. Now, we gotta remember that Orochi is monstrified through Psychos' experiments. No, she didn't use special chemicals or special things like that. It's just the method of training. The Zenkai boost, or the Zenkai method. I guess you want to call it that. Push him to the brink of death continuously until it continues to evolve and evolve and evolve and evolve and evolve to the extremes. And that's where we're at now with Orochi. So this core is a mutation of that. The question is, are there no similarities amongst monsters? We know that there are some, or there could be some, amongst individuals or monsters who have become that way because of monster cells. But like Tongue Stretcher and Pureblood, there can't be a similarity there. Pureblood says he was born a monster. Tongue Stretcher said he became a monster because he liked panties too much. So can there be no similarities? Are there similarities amongst individuals who transformed into monsters? Tongue Stretcher or Phoenix Man, right? Is there nothing similar about them? I don't know. I'm trying to find a reason for Sage to not be Orochi, because I don't want that. I don't want Sage to have come back as Orochi, because that would be lame. We did see a mural before in a redrawn version of the Child Emperor fight where we saw two centipedes behind Orochi. I think it was behind this Subterranean King. But we don't know what context that has, or if this is a confirmation of what that was. We don't know why they are here. And they also had some dialogue in regards to God. They were talking about God earlier. So the connection between God, Sage Centipede, and Orochi is up in the air right now to me. Maybe we could reread and gather some more facts and make a stronger connection, or it'll probably lead us into a direction or a viewpoint that we're supposed to be seeing or supposed to be having some sort of clues for already. I don't want to say that we've missed something. But like, if we didn't miss something, then like, why is Garou talking about, hey, Orochi had a core just like this, when Sage was talking about, oh, we're here representing God. Like, what? So that's still up in the air, and we're waiting to get more information about that. So, with that being addressed, the hopes are the safekeeping, the protection of Tadio. Oh, Kuro's hope is not secure with Sage Centipede being out of the picture. We were all talking about Tadio's death, or Tadio being jeopardized, his safety being jeopardized, as a catalyst for for Garou turning into like a monster capable of fighting Saitama. But it seems that the story is pushing us a little bit farther away from that point. We won't reach it just yet, if that is going to be the catalyst. Now let's move to the scaling. We talked about how at the end of every single review from now on, we're going to be adjusting the tier list that we're keeping together. And here we are. So now I'm going to adjust the source quick fast. Okay. So let's go. Sage Centipede, Garou, and Metal Bat. So let's start with who should be on the lowest on the list. Metal Bat. His performance just now, because he took those attacks, he took the Grand March and an attack last chapter, I believe it was, but especially the Grand March of this chapter is what helped push him to the point of being able to actually crack through Sage Centipede's shell. That's what it was. So he can tank all that. Yes, he can. The problem is that it was a single Sage Fist, I believe, but a focused Sage Fist that actually knocked Metal Bat out. So the damage isn't disappearing. Like, just because he's growing in strength, it doesn't mean that the accumulation of damage isn't like still there. It's like, there's no easy way to put this. Like, if you're damaging him at a 5, he's growing at a 15 or something like that. But the threshold of it that his body can take is still like 100. So if that rate at which he's growing in strength isn't a 15, if it's much more, if it's like 35, you're doing 5 damage to him and he's growing at like 35 for every single time you hit him, you're likely to lose. But if you're able to, deal like 50 damage, right? And yeah, he got to 55 right away because of that. And then yeah, he got to 80 right away, or he kept going to 80 or something like that, right? An 80% boost, right? 80-point boost. Because of one big ass hit from Sage Centipede, right? The Grand March. Let's say it was just that. Another fist, another punch was able to knock him out. You didn't need another fucking You didn't need a whole other Grand March in order to actually knock him out. So that's the stipulation, it seems. That fighting spirit will go as long as your body will hold out. But the boost that you get is dependent on, I guess, how much damage you're taking or how devastating the damage is. Because the Grand March is what? I think it was like somebody said like 66,000. No, that's the other one. 6,666 feet that he has. No, pretty much, yeah. Well, the Grand March was one side, I think, so half of that, 3,000. Shit, 3,000 hits from Sage Centipede. Stop. They're not doing that. Nobody here is doing damage like that. Gums' jaw strength is nothing compared to this. Drive Knight, nope. Meta Knight's explosive. You could talk. Garou. I mean, let's not get out of hand here. Metal Bat's definitely jumping up. But I don't know exactly where, though. Please remember that this list is not just, how can he beat that guy right there? Like, this guy right there can beat him. Like, there's more people on the list. And there's more people in a row. So that's why it's not just, hey, because he can beat him, he has to go here. It's not, you have to consider more things. Like, sure, the ninjas may may be pretty fast. You're sure. Sure. But Neon can beat the ninjas. And I don't think Neon would be able to kill Metal Bat. Like, Neon would do some devastating ass shit. But he'd probably be boosting up Metal Bat pretty good. Next, let's go to current Garou. The centipede talk is done. The centipede talk is done. Yes, Garou is much stronger than Elder Centipede. That's it. Yes. Yeah. He would break right through Elder Centipede. Garou could definitely devastate Elder Centipede for sure. Yep. Could Garou break the meteor? I don't know. I don't know, bro. I don't know. Garou, like, hey, dang. I don't know, bro. What are you gonna whirlwind it? I don't know. Is it safe to say that Garou or Sage is stronger than Garou? I mean, Garou wouldn't have gotten to this point if it wasn't for Metal Bat. But maybe he could have gotten there eventually. It would have been tough. It would have been a different situation because the helicopter was definitely in jeopardy. He would have been put in peril, and he would have evolved strong to get stronger for sure, probably through hate and through like emotional distress. I could definitely see that. But right now, he ripped through his core. He broke through his carapace. So yeah, Sage is stronger than, Garou is stronger than Sage Centipede. Yeah. Yeah, and Sage, I mean, you're right where you are. Yeah. Yeah. Right where you are. I might have to go do a reread of the Meteor chapter to see if we should move the Meteor up or down, but for now, we're going to leave it like that. Make sure to give me your inputs or your opinions as to what the positioning should be for Sage Centipede, Metal Bat, and Garou. There's, like I said before, there was a lot of differing viewpoints as to the overall feelings of the chapter, the overall reception. I personally enjoyed it. I personally like the nostalgic connection between Garou and Metal Bat because I'm not necessarily sure of myself in regards to Garou being around that much longer. Like, if you're gonna be doing bad stuff, you may not be around like that. But let's hope that this hero work or this acknowledgement of self-control that Garou has continues, because he isn't a monster. Like, this is a pretty conscious monster. So I don't know. Yep. See you boys next time. Yo ho!